That's Bharat Vijay, who is the CTO of HAIF. With years of experience in AI development and health tech, Bharat Vijay will explain the technical infrastructure that powers HAIF's platform and its scalability for future applications in healthcare beyond heart failure. So, welcome, Bharat. The stage is yours.
Thanks, Dr. Uli. Thank you, everybody. It's great to be here, and this Innovator MD has been a platform that's really launched us to the world. In fact, since the last time we did our deep dive, I'd like to report a few, great pieces of information. We were covered by Forbes. There was a great
Amazing.
article on Forbes. I will post that in the chat window. And we've also signed a term sheet with our lead investor. We are raising a seed round of about 5 million, of which we have 2 million committed, including a lead investor. So it's progressing really well. So with that, let
Congratulations.
me thank you, Dr. Uli. Thanks for all the support. I'd also like to introduce my CEO, Dr. Amar Ray, who's on the call, our Chief Marketing Officer, Kevin, who already introduced himself. And then thank you, Naidu. And then we'll get started. Okay, so we've even with the Apple Watch and all the digital devices that are around, the number of heart attacks and heart failures are growing year over year. In fact, heart failure is growing by 18% year over year. So clearly, all the digital revolution that's happened is still unable to prevent major cardiac events from happening. And the gist of what we do is we are able to predict heart failure with close to a 99% accuracy over the next 90 days. We've been in AI, I've been in AI since 1998. I've built AI vision models for almost every domain. And my team is probably has even deeper experience. So we're actually able to predict the onset of major cardiac problems, starting with heart failure, which is the biggest load on the world right now. Just very quick traction. We have a lead investor. We're very happy with, they're one of the very well-known folks in Silicon Valley. We love their track record, very strong B2C, complements our strength in the healthcare space. And they have several unicorns as well in their portfolio. So we would definitely like to be one. We've also identified resellers. We're a small company. We're not looking at direct sales. We've identified resellers in more than 11 countries. And our FDA application in the US is underway. We were oversubscribed for our angel round last year, and we've launched a pretty big campaign this year. We're looking at doing 1 million EKGs, and we're calling it One Nation, One EKG, or One World, One EKG. Um, we've also signed up in India for 16 states. The US and Europe are pending FDA and CE, which are currently underway for us. And as many of you, we've validated against a Framingham heart cohort of more than 20,800 patients in a retrospective fashion with a close to 99% accuracy. So what do we do? As many of you know, heart failure is very hard to detect from an EKG because it has to do with the mechanical operation of the heart. So we've got a seminal patent in being able to compute the ejection fraction from the EKG, which until now has just been the realm of the ultrasound. We've finished clinical trials in 3 different hospitals. We've validated it. We've been issued a patent. It's been covered in the press. And in addition, we've developed several other mechanical markers that allow us to predict from the EKG. And this makes our solution available within minutes for a patient that goes to a doctor, in almost any hospital, anywhere. And we even work with several of the wearable devices. Today, the problem is heart failure there's a huge drain on the healthcare system. In the US, 43% of heart failure patients are readmitted to the hospital 4 times a year. Close to 10 to 15% are readmitted twice within a month. So we all know the hospital gets dinged from a financial standpoint for within 30-day readmissions. We're able to see this coming in advance. Our solution is, pardon my phrase, dead simple. We take we're able to take the EKG, either the digital or the PDF, and we're able to upload it using our API. And within minutes, we send back a traffic light result, which says that the person either has no risk or has a risk of heart failure, or what we're calling a very high risk of heart failure within the next 90 days. The heart's giving us the mechanical signal for the next 90 days. And we're predicting symptomatic heart failure in that time. The reason our solution is really simple is even a semi-trained professional like myself can administer it. It's a matter of taking the EKG and even using a wearable device, uploading it to the cloud where our server runs, and getting back the result to the doctor. Today, the conventional solution, let me just take a moment to talk about it. Today, the way heart failure is detected is either using the 2D ultrasound or the echocardiography or the NT-proBNP. And let me clarify, we're not trying to replace those. When someone is suspected of symptomatic heart failure, then they run the ultrasound or the proBNP test, and you can see those are actually quite pricey. Ours is priced in the US at about $15. It starts at $15, but we have a cardiac pack that is potentially even more expensive, and we're planning the launch of that. But at $15, we can within a few minutes we can tell if a person is at risk for heart failure in the next 90 days. And the European Society of Cardiology has awarded us the designation that we are the first to predict heart failure, and we detect a stage called impending heart failure. And that's being called Ray's disease after our co-founder, Dr. Abhijit Ray. So if we're not replacing the echo and the ultrasound and the proBNP, then what are we doing? We are making ourselves available to the asymptomatic patients that don't know that they're headed down the path of heart failure. We're going to people that do pre-screening tests, prognostic tests, annual physicals. They're just showing up for some other problem at a physician's office, potentially getting an EKG done, and we're immediately able to assess the risk of heart failure. Heart failure is getting younger and younger every year. So, it's in the 40s and mid 30s. There's people who collapse in a basketball court. There's people who, collapse for various reasons in a fitness center, and are unaware that one of the reasons for the collapse is potentially impending heart failure. We are ready to displace about $150 billion of heart failure related costs in the US alone, and about $358 billion worldwide. And how does this happen? It's because digital preventative health is beginning to grow very rapidly. Screening tests are beginning to grow. Healthcare itself, as we know, the coverage worldwide is very patchy. So people are opting for lower priced preventative tests, and we are one of the first prognostics for any organs of the human body. So we're really beginning to redefine cardiac care and potentially digital preventative care as well. We're currently in discussions with some of the largest healthcare systems in the US and worldwide, and with device manufacturers as well. So our go-to-market is through intermediaries. We're partnering with large marketing firms. We're partnering with pharmaceutical companies. We're partnering with healthcare institutes and device manufacturers. We're not focusing on being a door-to-door sales force in our first couple of years, but we are building these partnerships right now. We are still in the pre-revenue stage. I wanted to clarify that. We are getting revenue from a few hospitals, but I would classify us as still being pre-revenues, because we haven't as yet executed our entire sales strategy. So what's our sales strategy? We're partnering with PCP networks, we're talking to HMOs, we're talking to handheld manufacturers. We've signed letters of intent with companies that are taking cardiac care. They're intermediaries. So they've already built the last mile in terms of being able to do digital preventative data gathering from millions of end consumers, and we're able to tack our test on as a value add along with these intermediaries. So we've signed an agreement with a group that is available in 16 states in India and several states in the US. We've signed agreements with um, healthcare marketing firms that are in 5 very large states in India, as well as 5 West African countries. We've signed up with a partner that's taking us to all the states in the Middle East. All of these countries do not require FDA approval. Many of them send us anywhere from 50 to 400 cases to test our solution on. We pass those tests, and then they move on to launch our product. In the US right now, we're in the process of filing FDA. We expect to get it between Q2 and Q3 of this year. We've had tremendous experience with the FDA already. Our business plan is to focus on compliance and non-US markets in the first half of this year, and focus on the US and Europe in the fourth quarter of this year. Expand in 2027, 2028. We're planning a public offering in 2029. Post the closure of this round, we expect we're counting year one after the closure of this first round, and we're looking at a $8 million revenues in the first year itself. Um, and I'm sorry, we're looking at about $2 million in year one. And our expenses in the first year are likely to be a little higher. But from year two onwards, we are immensely profitable because we've built our solution. It's software as a medical device. We already work with more than 50 EKG devices, including several wearables. So our actual cost of operations is not very high, and we're adopting a partnership strategy. This is only the tip of the iceberg. We've already developed solutions to actually estimate coronary artery disease. We're able to both tell the location and the extent of blockage. That's another prognostic. We also have a prognostic for people that already have any cardiac condition. That's about 250 million strong. We're bringing that prognostic into the market. And we're actually working on a prognostic for predicting hypoglycemia that will have an enormous impact on cardiac in the cardiac world. We've completed in the last 1 year, we've got our HIPAA certification, CCPA, CCRA. We've also completed cybersecurity validation. And like I said, we're in line for FDA and QMS. We've been awarded a patent. For the last 2 years, we were InnovatorMD's either number one or number two startup. And we're very happy and proud and grateful for that opportunity. We've been published in the European Society of Cardiology, accepted for New England Journal of Medicine, which is backlogged by about a year. So we're in preprint, and we're happy to share that preprint. We've run more than 20 health fairs. We've been covered by the press. And we're in the money in revenues, although we do think of ourselves as pre-revenue right now. Yeah, so here's our team. Dr. Amar Ray actually led this team to a prior cardiology exit. We got FDA approval for an electrophysiology product that was invasive, used AI, 7 months to FDA approval, and we successfully sold the company. The entire team is the founding team for HAIF. Dr. Abhijit is exceptional, and You've already met Kevin, and we also have Zach Selch, who took GE and other healthcare products to the worldwide market. We're raising about approximately $5 million seed round, about $2 million already committed. And we're using that to expand the IP and to create a very strong sales support team to bring the product to the market. So join us, make one world, one EKG a reality. We think we're getting a detection rate of almost 8%. So, we would really welcome your support and to be part of this effort. Thank you, and open for questions.
Thank you, Bharat. That was a great presentation, and congratulations on your success so far. We want to see you, even reach even higher heights, I would say. All right, let's take some questions. So I have a question. And this is more, I guess, philosophical. So when we talk about predictive analytics, whether it is, disease processes or something that's going to happen in the future, right? Most of US market is based on fee for service. And so when people get sick, that's when the healthcare companies make money. But when you predict something and you prevent something, hopefully, that prediction, will lead to some treatment and prevention. Won't that affect the revenue of healthcare companies that are primarily fee-for-service companies? What is your take on that?
So, Dr. Uli, I think that's actually a great question. And what we're seeing is that we're actually opening up additional revenues for them. So we've actually talked to close to 40 cardiologists in multiple geographies. And what we're finding is there is a focus on preventative health and longevity right now. And what we're finding is that once people are detected, they're actually going to a cardiologist when many of them wouldn't have gone there in the first place. And when we work with pharma companies, and we're finding that people are in almost the last 90 days of going into symptomatic heart failure, there's a chance for actual prevention, complete prevention of going into symptomatic heart failure with potentially, and I'm not a doctor, so please, don't take this as a prescription, but the pharma companies have suggested that, even some advanced use of diuretics may actually prevent the progress into symptomatic heart failure. More aggressive control of hypertension might do that. So we're actually opening a new revenue stream, and we're to some extent smoothing out the spike. And as you know, Dr. Uli, 77% of US heart failure patients are detected in the ER. So we're smoothing out the spike and making it more gradual and giving people a much better chance to actually survive or not even go into heart failure.
Got it. Got it. Thank you very much. Well, looks like a lot of questions are popping up. Let's see. Sunil,
I
go
think
ahead and ask your question.
this time I will let the people on the chat go first. I'll wait.
All right. Then let's go with Hector. Hector, unmute yourself and ask the questions.
Yes. Hey, Bharat. I have some questions that, 4 different questions that are on the chat. But first question is, are you already on the FDA fast track process?
Yes, I'm actually going to let Dr. Amar answer that. So Dr.
Yeah.
Amar worked go ahead.
I would like to say, Hector, that we have started the process, and we are waiting for them to give us the approval or raise questions. It normally takes approximately 90 days to review the whole thingy and come up with questions.
So
Okay.
just based on what I know, you meet the criteria to be on the fast track process for FDA, and I would definitely encourage you to when they get back to you, to let them know that you want to be on the fast track process, because that will definitely help you. And my second question is connected to this, because it's about getting the FDA to be motivated, inspired, so to speak, to put you on the fast track process. What have you done to publish to increase awareness with cardiologists who would be the users, adopters of your software here in US?
What we have done so far is we have gone to multiple different agencies who are led by cardiologists.
Hmm.
Okay.
And those guys, either in USA or in Europe, has given us complete success support.
And also, you've had some publications, right? Do you publish some
We
papers?
have some publications in Forbes or in USA Today or stuff like that. So media has also covered, and the I would say the researchers and physicians have given us a thumbs up on that issue, both
Okay.
in Europe as well as in USA.
Got it.
Great.
My other question is, basically, my business partner also has a question which I want to put before my final question, which is, who are you targeting here in US? Is it the cardiologist or the operators, owner operators of cardiology groups? Are they the payers, the insurance companies that would ensure that there's a billing code that is pre-approved for use for this as a diagnostic tool? Or is it other type of players that are in the healthcare system?
Yeah, good question. Very nice question. Let me say that we have already approached and applied with the who maintains the ICD codes for payments, and we are halfway through in that as well. So hopefully soon we will get a clearance from ICD owners who worldwide for using that code for the payment processing part of the insurance industry primarily.
That's perfect. That should be your part of your go-to-market strategy, and the earliest you start, the better. My final question is, you mentioned that you're looking to raise 5 million, of which you already have 2 million committed. What can we do to help you get to the total amount that you can, the capital that you want to raise?
Check.
Write a check.
Yeah.
Got it. So I would say let's have a conversation offline. I sent you my contact information directly. Let's just have a chat after this, because I think we
Sure.
may be able to help out.
Thank you
Right.
so much. We appreciate and either Bharat or somebody from the team will certainly connect and give you the information that you want, Hector, for your decision making.
Sounds great.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
so much.
Questions. All right. Let's see. I see a lot of questions coming up, but let's get Margaret on. Margaret?
Yes, hi, congratulations, HAIF team, Bharat, and everyone there for getting the lead investor. I just like to find out your 5.5 million. What is the remaining amount, and what is your current valuation?
Okay, I would like to say in this way that our current valuation will be decided by the term sheet that we have accepted from the lead investor.
Okay. And
That's number
2
one.
million, 2
Number
million out of the
two,
5.
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry?
Yeah. The other thing that we have been able to do is we plan to offset the difference in income versus the potential expenses by the collection of revenue. We do not want to put all the pressure on the investor side just to have a gain on our pocket. That's
I have a
primarily.
question.
Sure, go ahead,
Yeah.
please.
Uli, can I ask a question?
Go ahead, Jose.
Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Jose Bolaños, and I'm a Stanford alumnus. And I have some really interesting questions here. I know what an EKG is, and you're telling me that artificial intelligence can predict a heart attack from just an EKG, and actually it can actually
Heart failure.
detect occlusion. It can detect occlusion. I mean, I can think about a radionuclide study where all of a sudden you can actually see what's being oxygenated or deoxygenated. But how in the world can AI determine just with an EKG those two things? Help me understand that.
Okay, Doc, let me take this question up, and Bharat will jump in whenever there is a need. Okay? I would say that the EKG or ECG actually gives us the electrical signals of the heart.
Yes.
There is a way to convert that electrical signal into mechanical signal. Once that mechanical signal comes out, then anyone will be able to figure out how that mechanical signal is interpreted.
Is it determining like a level of deoxygenation where you have an elevation of the electrical signal in such a way that you're saying, hey, this guy, with every breath, all of a sudden he's still not getting the right oxygen?
I think it's more of the mechanical movement of the heart
Movement, yeah.
muscle.
Okay.
That's what it is predicting. The
Okay.
electrical signal is converted to the mechanical signal, which means it shows the movement.
Well, I want to have that. I want to have that test.
Oh yeah, it's coming.
Sure, any day.
Well, you're
And-
going to be acquired faster than you think.
Oh, absolutely. We take approximately 27 seconds to take the EKG input
Actually,
and then upload that onto our server, and our server gives the results back in a maximum of 56 or 57 seconds.
Well, listen, I want to actually connect that API because we have a secure identity, true user verification application called Nimbus Key ID, and we'd love to put that actually onto our app.
Sure.
Yeah.
We have an API, and we can certainly give you the access. You can test it, and we have tested with more than 21,836 people of Framingham, which is world's oldest and biggest heart failure or heart-related.
It's not painful, right? You give
Oh,
every
no, it's
patient a
not that.
candy, a lollipop after every test. They're happy to go like that. That didn't hurt at all. I didn't get injected.
Doc, when we had to tell somebody that the guy has heart failure, according to our system, that was a very tough thing.
Yeah.
And,
Actually, it was demonstrated at our networking event. So maybe next our networking event, InnovatorMD networking event, we'll invite them and then do the test for free on all of the attendees. How about that?
Oh my God.
Sure.
How do you handle it when all of a sudden you get a positive result?
If it can detect broken hearts, I would like to volunteer for broken hearts.
Actually, Dr.
All right.
Bolaños, I think this is, we think of ourselves as a good news company. So a positive result with us is actually not bad news. We're saying, you can actually stop this really difficult event from happening if you catch it well in advance.
Can you actually detect heartbreak?
Okay, guys, let's stop here.
Somebody just
let's
broke
move
up
on to
with
our
their
next
partner.
Yeah,
All right, let's move on to our next next presenter.
I don't think my question was answered, but I'd like to take it offline because I think I'm connecting with Bharat. Bharat, I think I'm going to take it offline and allow
please.
That will be great.
to ask the question.
Please continue the conversation in the chat, so that is still open. So,
Thank you.
And Bharat can answer the questions, and Amar can answer the questions.